Alright guys, so today I want to show you a new config tutorial. But since I don't have a lot of free time right now, I will once again have to use an artificial voice. So definitely let me know how you like the voice or if I should do some adjustments to it.
So today, I will tell you everything you need to know about the current XIM profile for Rainbow Six, and how to get the most consistent mouse movements in this game. A lot of XIM users have accuracy issues since the last season, or complain about the latest smart translator not providing consistent mouse movements. I will address this later in the configuration tutorial, together with two solutions that will fix this issue. With these two, the current Rainbow Six configuration provides the best mouse experience. Since we have a lot to cover, let's directly jump into the first topic of this video, the important information for the Rainbow Six XIM veterans. If you are new to Rainbow Six Siege, or new to using a XIM in general, then I recommend to directly jump to the next video chapter. This chapter is primarily for those who have played Rainbow Six with a XIM for several seasons already. First off, a lot of XIM users are recently trying to downgrade their Rainbow Six translators to the 6th version from over a year ago. I can absolutely not recommend that. The aim mechanic of the game has changed so much by now, that you will suffer from an unbearable amount of aim acceleration, when playing with the 6th version of the smart translator. Unless your body has fully adapted to this mouse acceleration, you will intentionally lower your maximum skill ceiling by using that translator. Instead, I recommend to either play with the most recent smart translator, together with the two fixes that I will show you today, or use the so-called updated smart translator for Rainbow Six. Around half a year ago the updated smart translator has been removed from the XIM database, but it is still perfectly viable to use in the game. It is currently the second best configuration you can use. A guide on how to get this smart translator can be found in my competitive Apex Legends configuration video, and a configuration guide for this translator can be found on my channel as well. I added a link to both in the video description. Secondly, as I just said, your XIM nowadays only offers one Rainbow Six game configuration, which is a configuration for the classic aim mechanic. In the future a new game configuration that supports the updated aim mechanic could of course be added again, but this will primarily be driven by demand. So if you would like to see a new XIM profile that supports the updated aim mechanic, then please share your interest in the XIM forum. Next let's go over the necessary preparation steps. First, a quick heads up for those who want to play the PS5 version of Rainbow Six, and are still wondering how to do that with their XIM. My recommendation is to get a Beloader adapter. The Beloader adapter is currently the best PS5 solution that we have, and if you carefully set it up, then it also works exceptionally well. It even offers an Ethernet mode for the best possible connection. A Beloader step-by-step guide for your XIM can of course be found on this YouTube channel. Also, in the video description I have added some Amazon links to the correct Beloader adapter. I also added a link to the manufacturer's shop, if you want to buy the Beloader for the lowest possible price. By purchasing through those links you directly support the channel, at no additional costs. Now about the first step to improve the consistency of your mouse movements. Near the bottom of your configuration picture you can find a small wrench button. Click it, and you will be asked about the required in-game settings. These are the settings your XIM expects you to use. Once they have loaded, you can see that there are quite a lot of things you have to adjust. Please do not use any other values, or else your XIM will not perform the way it should. What you can freely adjust, to some extent, are the zoom sensitivity values though. You can choose a value in the range of 75 to 100. Do not use values above or below this range, or else your mouse movements will start to become inconsistent. The closer your value is to 75, the more consistent the mouse movements will be. Here you can see the statement of the responsible person from the XIM company, who creates the translators. The higher your value, the more likely you are to experience aim and flick inconsistencies with your mouse. Because I want my mouse movements to be as good as possible, I will use 75 for all scopes. You can later still adjust the individual scope sensitivities through your XIM configuration, which will not affect the quality of your mouse movements. Just don't configure the scope sensitivities through the in-game settings, or at least stay within the range that I mentioned previously. Once you have changed your in-game settings, you can take care of the polling rate. Head into the global settings of your XIM manager. Your polling rate for this configuration should be set to either 500 or 1000 Hz. With these two polling rates you get the best mouse movements. Use the polling rate that your mouse performs best with. If you are not sure which polling rate is the best for your mouse, then quickly do a polling rate benchmark, such as the Zowie mouse rate checker. If you don't want to do this, then choose the 500 Hz option. Pretty much all modern gaming mice perform well on 500 Hz. My mouse provides excellent results on 1000 Hz, so I can go with that polling rate. Once you completed your polling rate changes, press the Save button in the bottom right and restart your XIM Apex. Otherwise your polling rate changes won't become active. Next I will show you how to set up the hip and ADS configuration. The setup values are the same for Xbox and PlayStation. So pick the corresponding configuration that matches your console. Start by clicking on the Edit button in the top left corner. For the configuration color I have decided to use yellow, and my hotkey is the F1 key. This allows me to load my Rainbow Six configuration whenever I want to, by pressing the F1 key on my keyboard. As a confirmation, my XIM will then show a yellow LED light. Now let's swipe one more time to the right, to enter the hip menu. As always, adjust your synchronization settings first. I did quite a lot of tests, and in my opinion, Sync Default performs the best in Rainbow Six Siege. It provides the best balance between very responsive mouse movements and smooth micro movements. This is also ideal for controlling your weapon recoil. After that, adjust your hip sensitivity. I will use a sensitivity of 50, with a mouse DPI value of 3200. As for the sensitivity, this is the only value in the video that you should not copy. Instead, I recommend you to use your own favorite mouse sensitivity. If you are not sure what sensitivity value works best for you, then you can watch my Ultimate Mouse Sensitivity Guide. It will show you a method which pro players use to find their most optimal sensitivity. With that one you will have the highest accuracy. As for the other sensitivity options, these will primarily change the aim assist, and are therefore meaningless for Rainbow Six. One of the main ideas of smoothing, steady aim and boost is to lower the quality of your mouse movements, which in return, will boost the aim assist. Given how Rainbow Six has no aim assist, we will not use any of these three features. That way, your mouse movements stay as accurate and precise as possible. Next we will take care of the second solution, to improve the consistency of our mouse movements. For that, we must use a ballistic curve. So click on the curve generator in your XIM configuration. First let's discuss what the issue is, to give you a better understanding for why we need a curve. Here you can see the statement of the XIM employee, who analyzed the aim mechanic. Rainbow Six uses a so-called velocity jump. A velocity jump is a method used by game developers to improve the turn speed of a game. The idea is to provide slow and precise stick movements, while also offering the ability to turn around incredibly fast. The velocity jump is usually bound to a very high stick percentage. Any stick deflection that is below this threshold allows the player to make accurate and precise aim adjustments. And once the player pegs the stick above the threshold, the velocity jump kicks in. The turn speed will then rapidly increase, and you cannot make any precise adjustments anymore. The velocity jump is only meant to provide quick turn speeds, so accuracy and precision are not relevant anymore. This is obviously very bad, and results in inconsistent mouse flicks, and poor mouse accuracy. It is also very difficult to build up muscle memory, since there is no aim correlation between the velocity jump and the normal aiming mode. Because of that, we will use a ballistic curve to cut out the velocity jump. That way we only use the part of the aim mechanic, which is used for precise and accurate aiming. As a result, our mouse movements will be much more consistent and predictable. As you can see in this screenshot, the velocity jump will activate during the last 1 or 2% of the aim mechanic. So what we must do, is to cut out the last 2% of our turn speed. To be on the safe side, I will remove the last 4% of the turn speed. That way we can be sure the velocity jump can no longer be reached. To do that, use the horizontal slider, and move the marker to the right side until the value at the bottom shows 96. Next click one time on the plus button, and afterwards, press the minus button. That way we create an editing point in the graph. The value should now be back at 96. Next, move the slider all the way to the right side, until the value in the box below is at 100. Click into this value now, and change its number to 96. Once that is done, you can see that the top end of the graph has been cut off. That way we remove the last 4% of the turn speed, which is the area in which the velocity jump is located. No matter how fast we move the mouse now, we cannot reach the last 4% of the turn speed anymore. If you have previously played without such a curve, then the turn speed will feel a bit different to what you are used to. So give it a few days to adapt to the new feeling, it will definitely be worth it. Your flicks and swipes will be much more predictable and consistent with this curve. What I just told you is also the reason for why the updated configuration that I mentioned in the first chapter of this video is so popular. The updated aim mechanic has a much lower velocity jump, so you do not suffer so much from this issue. But thanks to the curve trick, we fully removed the velocity jump, which is why this configuration is even better than the updated one. Next, you can close the curve generator and scroll down to the movement settings. Expand the advanced settings. In Rainbow Six Siege, it is important to have a button with which you can slowly move without making any noise. For that, you can use the walking key feature. I will bind the left shift key to it, and then set the percentage to 50. Whenever I hold down my left shift key, I can now slowly walk in the game, without making any noise. You can customize the speed at which you walk, by changing the percentage value. At the bottom of the movement settings, you can find the SAB feature. One of the effects of SAB is that it will smooth out your strafe speed. If you want to have smoother strafe movements, then use a value of 50 to 100. This will then be very comparable to moving around with controller sticks. However, if you want to have the sharpest and fastest strafe movements, then set the value to off. That way the strafe movements will be as fast and direct as on PC. Plus it will be harder to hit you, as your character accelerates much faster when changing your movement directions. Therefore I will set this feature to off. Once that is done, you can scroll down a bit and take care of the button bindings. Here you can either copy my button layout that you can see right now, or you go with your own one. At the very bottom of your button bindings, you can find the option to switch into the secondary button bindings. Here you can bind every controller action a second time. I am using this to double bind several actions such as my leaning button. Now swipe one more time to the right to enter the ADS configuration. Just like before, adjust your XIM synchronization settings first. To maintain the same mouse feeling, I recommend to use the same synchronization settings as in your hip configuration. So I will go with sync default again. After that, adjust your aim down sight sensitivity. My preferred aim down sight sensitivity for Rainbow Six is 37.50. Just like in the hip configuration, I will not use any of the advanced sensitivity features. Next, we must take care of the velocity jump again. Click on the curve generator to open its menu. This time move the slider to the 94% mark. We will cut away a little bit more this time, to avoid the velocity jump. Again click one time on the plus button, and after that, press the minus button. Afterwards you can move the slider to the 100% mark. Click into the value box now, and change the number to 94. That is already it. You can close the curve generator now, and click on the save button in the top left corner. Your Rainbow Six configuration is now complete. Because the video is already quite long, I will not add any additional tricks to this configuration anymore. If you want to add a Shaiiko peak setup to your configuration, or an anti-recoil solution, then you can watch my dedicated tutorial videos on those. All of these tricks are compatible with the configuration that I have just showed you. Links to these videos can of course be found in the video description.
So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button or maybe even subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Also, contrary to popular belief, this channel is not an official XIM channel. I run this channel in my free time to bring you guys the latest XIM news and tricks. So if you want to support what I do, then maybe consider to join the YouTube channel membership. Channel members usually get around 1 to 4 weeks of early access to all new videos. Plus, we also have a nice little Discord to discuss sim settings and other stuff. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will maybe see you in the next one.